for the past 2 years, Jocko Fuel has been the only supplement I've consumed. It's helped me stay in shape now that my competitive career is finished. If you've been waiting to try Jocko, the wait is over. Jocko has now teamed with Walmart, bringing clean fuel to the entire nation. Jocko Fuel is loaded with all the good stuff and none of the bad. And I'm talking no added sugars, no artificial sweeteners, and absolutely no gray area or banned substances. Just pure, clean fuel to power your performances. Jocko Fuel is now available in Walmart nationwide. Products available at your local Walmart are Jocko Malt, ready to drink, Jocko Malt Powder, and Jocko Pre-Workout. How convenient. Guys, the time is now. Consider trying some of my favorites like Jocko Go and Jocko Hydrate. You can even do it online. Use code CHAEL30 at JockoFuel.com or just stop by your local Walmart and get your hands on some Jocko ASAP. Don't wait, might not last. Fuel up with Jocko Fuel and crush your goals. Now there's no excuse for not having clean fuel. Guys, I want you to go get Jocko Fuel today at Walmart. Guys, I'm getting a message right this second that Charles Oliveira is out against Chandler. Now, all right, let's just hold that thought. I'm getting this from Mania. Hey Siri, call Ian Parker. Mania is a very good source. They're not always respected as a source. They're actually very good.
Yes, sir.
Hey buddy, I'm recording you right now. There's news going around that Oliveira's out, and it's even to the point that other fighters are hearing it. Dustin Poirier, for example, sent out a tweet saying, "Is it true that Oliveira's out?" And he kind of made it sound like if you need a guy. He didn't go that far. Where are we at on this? Let's start with that. Where are we at on this? Is this true?
So there's a couple of things. One, originally I was under the impression it was on the Oliveira side. And now, based on the tweet that Dustin responded to, if you look at Oliveira's tweet, it looks like they're looking for someone to replace Chandler. Helwani just went on his show, I guess, and said that he heard that these are just rumors, that nothing's concrete yet. I find it interesting that if it is on a side, because you know how you and I were talking before, like with Oliveira, he's just not very reliable, and his durability is terrible, that it would be on the Chandler side. Right now these are just rumors. I don't think the UFC would say no to Dustin jumping in. I think that would be the most suitable person in regards to, not that you're asking my opinion on this, but between him and someone like Moicano, I think for selling purposes for MSG, they would probably welcome Dustin as opposed to Fernando Moicano.
Okay, but hold on. So our current belief is that Oliveira is in. That it's the Chandler side that's out. So if Dustin comes in against Oliveira.
Correct. Now again, all speculation, all rumors. Even Oliveira posted something on there. So if you go into Dustin's tweet where he retweeted off Oliveira's tweet. So. Correct. At the moment, if these rumors are true, again, just rumors at the moment, but if they are true, it is in need of a replacement to fight Oliveira, not a replacement to fight Michael Chandler.
All right, I'm tracking. That would be in the world of unfortunate luck. I mean, for all the things that have happened to Chandler, and then if I can personalize it, I was with Mike 2 weeks ago, and he is mentally in a very different place and a very, very good. I mean, it's frightening the way he's missed and is planning to put energy into this, but also physically, man. When I do the bro hug, you shake his hand, then you pat him on the shoulder. It was like touching a wall. That dude was hard as a rock. He was lean. I mean, this will be very unfortunate.
I saw that picture of him on social media, and he already looked like he was able to make weight at 55. Pretty wild. The whole situation's crazy. I will agree with you. If he somehow got injured in the last day or two, or something happened that he'd have to pull out, it would have to be up there for one of the most unlucky situations, waiting for Conor for 7 years, not getting this fight that he shouldn't even be taking in the first place, in my opinion. So,
okay,
I don't even...
And Ian, from a human psychology standpoint, help me to break this down. So let's say that somebody started a rumor that Oliveira's out, but he's not out. What would the belief on, say Dustin Poirier or Moicano, what would your belief be on them fainting that they're willing to step in? I mean, is it one of those things, like, I would think that that's very smart. I would think to offer for a fight on short notice that's really hard and no one else would take, you would get credit just for offering, and then you could come back and go, oh, it's just a rumor. Oh, okay, all right. I mean, I'm just saying, is that the play here?
You know what? I think if it's a play between the two, I think it's a better play from someone in Hanato Moicano, because Moicano, coming off his last win where everyone thought he was going to go in there and lose, right, against Benoit Saint-Denis in a main event in Paris. You got someone in Moicano who's entertaining. He gets on the mic. I don't know half the stuff he says, right? I don't really know what he's saying, but it sounds funny.
Moicano wants stakes. Moicano need money.
Yeah, I can't afford to lose. That's the translation I received as well. So I'm not completely off there. So we're off to a good start with the translation. I knew my Portuguese was up to snuff these days. But for Moicano, I think whether it's a feint or not, it's smart, because he is someone that if he were to take this on short notice against Oliveira and lose, I still think that he could fight someone in Dan Hooker for that number 5 spot that wouldn't hurt him. For someone in Poirier, I mean, he's just securing a tremendous payday if he does this. And we already know that a loss wouldn't hurt his legacy. They would still welcome a Dustin versus Max at International Fight Week, right, in July, whether he won or lost. So I think if it's a feint, it's more from Moicano. I think if it's not a feint, I think more from Dustin.
Okay, now, real fast, I'm going to switch gears here, but December, is there any truth to Ankalaev and Pereira? And when I say any truth, I mean, is that what the organization would like? Is the organization trying to make that fight, or is that what do you got on that? Rakhmonov's coming off the bill, right? They're not gonna main event Rakhmonov.
Well, hold on. So from my understanding, they did go to Hannah and they went to Ankalaev. Ankalaev said yes. Pereira apparently. He said something like his hand, if he squeezes it, it hurts. And he's in Brazil right now visiting his old tribe. He's got a lot of appearances he's doing. So they did want that. I don't think that's what's happening, though. I don't think Alex is healthy enough to take this fight. And I don't think he's going to be willing to risk against someone who's dangerous and who everyone believes maybe is kryptonite in Ankalaev.
Sure.
So if you don't do that and you're keeping Rakhmonov as the main event, I'll be honest with you. I don't think Rakhmonov as the A side sells for a pay-per-view main event. That's just my opinion. Can he be the boogeyman if he goes out there and smokes somebody at some point? Sure. But here's where it gets crazy, Chael. If you were going to have Rakhmonov stay on the main event and fight for, let's say, an interim title, wouldn't it have been against Ian Gary? I would have thought that would have made the most sense, right?
Yeah.
But then the UFC goes and books Ian Gary versus Joaquin Buckley as the main event of UFC Tampa the following week after UFC 309. So Gary's out. So then you say to yourself, all right, well, if Rakhmonov's going to still fight for an interim title main event, who are your choices? And it's either a Jack Della Maddalena, where we have no idea if he's still injured. I would have to assume if he's healthy, you're saving him for UFC Australia in February.
If you can't main event Rakhmonov, you can't main event Jack Della Lema.
Correct. So then what do? Do you put in Kamaru Usman, who's 0-3 in his last fights, and you're going to have him fight Rakhmonov, and that's going to sell? I mean, I'm not a fan of that. And
sure.
With respect to Usman, listen, he put up a great fight against Chimaev, but at the end of the day, he is still 0-3 in his last 3.
Yeah.
And if they're so worried about keeping Rakhmonov on the card, why does he have to be the main event? At this point, I would let Pantoja versus Asakura main event it and let Rakhmonov fight someone as the co-main event.
Sure.
It doesn't have to be an Usman. The question, though, is who is it worth it? And why are they so worried about that, too, right? Bilal, if everything goes according to plan, he could fight in March or April, supposedly.
Yeah.
It's not that far. So why would you even risk that fighting Usman, and why would they do an interim title this early? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, and the move, by the way, if Leon Edwards would have spoken up, if he would have seen this as an opportunity, he was secretly in training camp like top guys should be. If he would have spoken up, Leon could have got that fight. And if they did interim championship, it would draw him back into Blahal. I mean, that's the move. That's the move I don't predict at all.
That, Chael, is absolutely the move. But here's the funny part. And a lot of people, because I posted this on Twitter, I said, who makes the most sense for Shavkat? And everyone keeps saying, why haven't I mentioned Leon? And you want to know what my answer is?
Sure.
Why hasn't Leon mentioned Leon? We haven't heard a peep out of this guy since he got smoked by Bilal.
That's also my problem with it. Yes, I can't call for a fight and opportunity for a guy that he's not calling for himself.
Otherwise, that's the only interim fight that makes any sense without any resistance. Even with Leon losing all 5 rounds to Bilal, if you want to call it that, or unanimous decision, whatever you want to say, that would make the most sense. Because the only other thing for me for Leon right now is if he didn't want this opportunity, which we still have not heard anything from him, so we can rule him out, I'm assuming, at this point, right? Is maybe Leon's waiting for that Masvidal fight. They're going to bring up the whole 3-piece in a soda, recreate a BS feud that no one cares about now that Masvidal is coming back to the UFC.
Sure.
That's my only guess, that Leon wants to wait on that. Because honestly, because you bring up a great point, Leon would be the easiest answer. After that, though, it's, if you go by wins, it's not even Usman. It would be someone like Sean Brady. Because you can't move Sean Brady into an interim title fight on a 1-fight win streak.
Sure.
Again, it's Rakhmonov. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
If I'm the UFC, I maybe bump up Pantoja to the main event against Asakura, and then try to find a co-main event. Maybe like a Juliana Pena, Kayla Harrison, if they could even do that.
Sure. That's a great point.
Tells me yeah.
All right, I love scramble mode. At the UFC, I feel like they always end up with a better fight when the house is on fire. I feel like the card always gets better. So I don't think you're totally wrong about Juliana and Kayla Harrison. I could see them going for that. I wouldn't predict they could make it just because of the discipline needed for the weight class, but I get your point. All right, Ian. Hey, I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you.
Anytime, Joe.
Kaboom!